Should automate this. Probably should automate this. That'd be a smart thing to do. I don't want to do this manually each and every single time. Alright. It's me and my lovely mug. Subscribe to earn drops. The fuck is this? I do not want to show this again. Dismiss. Thank you. Do not care about that. Get! These three shitters. What's this shitter? Move this dumbass over. Play Gotcha in Factorio. An actual good faith sort of comment being left by an account called Proud Troll. I find that very funny. Look, I support Israel. I think they've been historically correct. You've been lied to, my friend. But I'm not gonna watch the video. Overzealous goes over it quite well. For as to the reasoning for as to why history is not on Israel's side here. That's funny, though. What did the Trump Putin folk have? Yeah, it's cooking. We just got a interesting Israel supporter comment. Someone who is good faith and is an Israel supporter with the name of Proud Troll. It's very strange. They're wrong. completely wrong for as to their reasonings for why they think that why they support Israel. But well, you know. I mean, we're putting out. I'm putting out some fucking heaters today. What, the Alyssa Mercante video just went up. We're also putting up well, this one's been on the backlog for a while, but there's like an Amaranth video as well, which is gonna probably perform well as well because it's Amaranth. Well, listen, Boy Meets listen, Boy Meets Minnie. That's not going to be very helpful. That person may have been actually good faith. I do agree ultimately with the sentiment. Obviously, I do think that they're a terrorist supporter, but if we just engage with them in a manner that they're just like, oh yeah, dude, I support Israel because of these reasons. It's just like, okay. You're just wrong, dude. To say that Israel is correct in the fact that they have to put out so much propaganda and lie all the fucking time. You can even put up some of the fucking articles that have come out. Even the UN report where, you know, they lied. And it's not going to be very efficacious. I don't think that dude is bad faith. Maybe that dude is saying this in all in bad faith or whatever, but whatever. Maybe. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I'm talking about that commenter in particular, right? The Israel, like, obviously the Israeli state has been lying since its inception. In terms of its justifications on its actions against the Palestinians. It's been lying the whole time. But is that fucking dude in particular lying? No, I think they're probably more just like misinformed, if anything. Do you not have room for those fucking... No, it's because it's trying to send up fucking 2,000 of them. It doesn't have room for 2,000 of them. Well, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't, like, ultimately, is that person being, like, good faith in what they're saying? Maybe, maybe not. I have no way of being able to make that sort of determination, though. Yeah, the problem is, though, is we don't know if that individual in particular is being bad faith. That's the thing. We have no idea. So what you do in that particular instance is, well, you test to see if they are actually being bad faith. Right? By giving them, like, here's what actually happened. Blah, 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 blah. No, that's not good. Well, I guess there's a depleted uranium fuel cell. It's just gonna be kind of stuck there, I guess. That's okay, I guess. Whatever. Ah, there it is. Whatever. Let's try to prevent more of those from going on there. Because I need to add more fucking space. Lovely. And we got a bunch of plastic now? Oh, we actually have quite a bit of plastic. Ugh. Jesus. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, oh shit, we got a legendary Spidertron. Oh shit. That's pretty fucking lucky. Oh hey, I happen to be right next to it. Managed to luck into one of these bad boys. Well, that's pretty good. Let me see if I can put in some quality modules. I don't have any. Mwah. Man, sometimes lucky we got a legendary Spidertron, which is pretty nuts, I guess, but sure. Cool. Any legendary quality modules, or rare quality modules? How are we doing over here? It's recovering slowly, but we don't have to do it this way. I mean, this is the brute force way of doing it. This will always be inherently quite slow. What, we got 31? Research potion things are slow to make. Not really. The thing is that we don't have as good of a setup as possible. Like, this is fine for a starter base. But we're at the points of infinite research where you need, like, a mega base. Yeah, you boost assemblers through modules and beacons and, as well as quality. But right now, what we're trying to do right now is we're making room. We're gonna flick this thing on. also get a fusion power plant for novice. But yeah, I guess even after the lifting of the community guideline strike warning, it's kind of just whatever catches in the algorithm just catches in the algorithm. Because the only reason why that fucking goddamn the only fucking goddamn thing that basically boosted it in terms of like algorithmic potential or whatever the fuck is the fact that it just got randomly just picked up. So pretty much the policy still remains just output and something will get caught eventually if the algorithm deems it to be catchy enough. What you get it for? Or get what for? Yeah, exactly. It's also fucking drama more easily is caught in the algorithm as well. It's another factor. It's all fucking slop shit, right? Trying to see where there have, because there's been like some fucking bullshit like DNC articles talking about Zohran Mamdani incredulously like wielding Israel as like, you know, oh man, I can't believe that you're going after the fact that the Jews have dual loyalties, doing some like anti-Semitic conspiracism in order to defend Israel, which is very funny. I can't believe that Zohran Mamdani would go after fucking the dual loyalties of fucking Israelis. Grr! And it's just like, brother, what the fuck is this? Like, why are you saying this? If literally anyone else would say shit like this, you would, within a heartbeat, call them anti-Semitic. And that would be correct. That is the correct thing to call people anti-Semitic about. But Zohran Mamdani is just like, yeah, dude, personally, I think it's bad what Israel is doing to Palestinians. And not a peep. Not a fucking peep whatsoever about, like, you know, anti-Semitism or whatever. It's so fucking goofy, dude. The goofiest shit on the fucking planet. Okay, so we're gonna have to assemble a train. So we're gonna take a bunch of rail. It might be too much rail, but it's fine. If it's too much, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, I guess in comparison to all the fucking bullshit that's going on, today is gonna be a relatively more relaxed day. Not as much fucking shit going on. So I suppose that's satisfactory. Ha ha ha. Can we have you pick up a bunch of epic Tesla turrets from Fulgora? Let's say 300. I definitely have that many. Like, I definitely have that many. Oh, I should also put in quality modules into this thing now. waterlogged, it would seem. The problem is this thing's relatively crude design. I'm gonna make use of these rare batteries. It's not ideal. Sometimes all you need to do is to just make a loop back. As always. That, the batteries. Wait, is this the fucking article? New York City mayoral contender didn't back measures condemning Holocaust, supporting Israel. Bro? Zohran Mamdani has been attacked by his foes for his stances on Israeli issues. That's true. The fuck is this article headline? It's so weird. Supporting Israel's right to exist is a fundamental American value. That's so fucking funny. Wait, does an overwhelming majority of Jewish New Yorkers support Israel? Is that true? Is that a fact? Or is that a fucking lie? Real or bullshit? That is the question. But don't worry, you won't be like that for long. We just need the fucking goddamn Tesla turrets, so then we can make fucking cordon off the whole area for the fucking new base that's gonna be built, blah blah blah. How many Jewish New Yorkers support Israel? Poll. Majority of New Yorkers support aid to Israel. That was in 2023. As tensions rise, more New Yorkers oppose aid to Israel. A Siena poll released this week found that 45% of New York State residents polled opposed sending military and economic aid to Israel. So, the claim that these dumbasses are saying is not exactly accurate. It's not a majority, but it's a big plurality. Strong attachment to Israel is highest amongst Orthodox Jews. Okay. It's still, Glitch X City. I'm still trying to look into this, like, because, like, there's been, like, a coordinated attack by the DNC on Zohran Mamdani. Like, there's 2 political stories. Defending off of Holocaust Remembrance Resolution. The fuck does this mean? Well, they're doing it because they're fucking scared of him. That's why they're doing this, like, stupid shit. Well, I mean, that's the thing. The only reason why he might lose is because Cuomo is just coasting off of his fucking name recognition. Yeah, here's New York Post complaining about BDS chants. That's cool. Just complaining about nonsense. No, I can't believe that his dad called for an end to the Jewish state. No. Yeah, and given like how like low the propensity to vote is in fucking New York, name recognition is key. I'm trying to remember which article literally did the fucking like dual loyalty stuff to Netanyahu or something. Cause like literally there was an article talking about like, oh, yeah, it's all about like you know, Jews also having a loyalty to Netanyahu as well, and it's just like, that's really fucking weird. Why would you say that? Like, why are we doing some weird fucking, like, dual loyalty shit? Cuomo for Israel, Mamdani for Palestine. Lander and Mamdani are planning to attend a Cedar in the streets. That's very funny. Cedar? Pause it! Why are they talking about Sam Cedar like that? That's crazy. Okay, cool. We got that bullshit taken care of. Okay. Do that so you stop that. Yeah, but it's funnier to think that it's actually Sam Cedar, okay? Point me to many, come on now. That's funnier, so. Oh no! Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare. Hello, Steven. what a fucking nightmare. I'll be honest, that shit will never not be funny. Oh no! Okay, what was I doing? I needed some bits and bobs for trains. It's time to build a train. Another train. As one does in Factorio. Building trains. We love trains. We also need our train signals. Where the fuck did I put them? Where'd I put them? Don't I have an assembly machine for them? Might not. That's fine. Just put one down. Ugh. Guess I don't have any, huh? Oh, I see elections every 4 years. Fun. Okay, I also need steel and sticks. Alright, cool. Oh, that's true. I mean, Cuomo, if he does hypothetically win, he will fuck up. Because he just sucks. He just, like, fucking sucks. Do I want to make this a loop? I'm just gonna make this a fucking two-way train. So, 2 engines. Then we need to figure out how to get fuel for the fucking train down there. I mean, we just carry it by bod. It's quite a distance. But that's not that big of a deal, honestly. Who cares? I'm trying to find, like, an article to cover about this stupid Zohran Mamdani stuff. That is very stupid. Zohran Mamdani, Israel, Palestine. Israel Palestine. No, I can't believe he said BDS and he agrees with BDS. No. Curses. I can't believe that Zohran Mamdani would agree with Palestine. The Philistines. Free. Talking with Brianna Joy Gray. Ew. That doesn't really matter. Who the fuck cares about that? Who the hell cares about Brianna Joy Gray? No one. Wasn't that on Brianna Wu? Wrong Brianna. But yeah, Brianna Wu is also a piece of shit. Confusing your Briannas? What are you, a fucking sexist? The answer to that question is yes. Because you're in this chat, which means you have to be partially sexist. Still trying to find this article. Do you know? There's a specific article that I'm looking for, Boy Meets Mini, and it literally does, like, the whole fucking, like, dual citizen, like, loyalty of all Jewish people. To, like, for, like, Netanyahu, for all, Jewish people within America. Which is, kind of fucked up. It's kind of messed up there, bud. Oh, I don't know how to feel about that there, cause it seems kind of weird to me. That's all I gotta say about that there. Oh, gee, I don't know. We're gonna drop off all that stuff. Give me my giant Tesla turrets. Also, I should get a, fusion reactor for Malthus. Nine gigawatts, you say? This blueprint requires 15 legendary substations. Curses. Okay, whatever. We'll just look at these political articles then. I don't really want... trying to think of the fusion reactor design. Yes, I understand. Fusion reactors are very overpowered. And that's true, they are very overpowered. We love fusion. Don't we, folks? I don't want this design with the fucking legendary substations. I don't want to deal with having to fucking try to farm for legendary fucking substations. Actually, I could probably get the legendary substations now. From Vulcanus. Yeah, we can make those. We have the necessary machines to make these. With the necessary material to make those. Okay. Back to fucking Vulcanus it is then. Then we shall continue building. Get rid of this one fucking blue belt. Ugh, blue. Ick! Already got rid of all of you idiots before. Ick! Ick. Ick. You turn on the lights. You know, I do appreciate the news being slower today. You know, not as much fucking shit going on. I do suppose I need to upload the next fucking Yap session video and then make another Yap. I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, there's been like some big ass fucking tornadoes, right? Big tornado. But hey, you know, climate change. Climate change, dink donk. Dink donk, climate change, dink donk, dink donk, dink donk. Yeah, he's like literally defunding the necessary fucking media. Like him defunding fucking PBS and stuff through executive order. Quite literally, guess what? Hampers early warning. It's very funny.
Early warning? What's that? I don't know what that is. Never heard of it. I've never heard of early warning, folks. Let me tell you. Yep, warnings. I hear warnings are woke. They're woke, they're DEI. I don't know what those are. I have no idea, folks. Never heard of them in my life. Never have I ever heard of these, folks. Woke DEI storms. They're so woke, they're so DEI. So woke.
Guess we're full on iron, huh? Well, because the iron's hardly being fucking consumed. Alright, well, how about we replace those with the actual correct chests? And we also need to make... We need to make the fucking legendary calcite ship. Ugh.
think it might be time for us to start consuming. I think it might be time for us to start consuming in Factorio. Start to make legendary products, folks. Very important.
Oh, don't worry, you idiots. You'll all be connected to the network soon enough.
We're gonna make some woke, legendary machinery. It's very woke, folks. What can I say?
We need legendary speed modules if we want to make legendary assembly machines. Alright, let's start with just the basic shit. Legendary tier 2s. We'll also need a separate segment just for making legendary, and we need a separate segment for making gears. Can take productivity. We can't use foundries for this because foundries will only forge it from molten iron. And obviously the problem with that is if it's from molten, there's no quality associated with that. So we have to do it with assembly machines, which are not as efficient, but don't really have a choice.
We don't really have a choice in that matter, folks, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Let's just open up this shit right now. Okay, do that. Probably, I think one of the comments I found the funniest though, Boy Meets Mini,
in that slop apocalypse fucking meme. I like how one of the fucking like dipshit like slop content, I guess, enthusiasts say, "Oh, why isn't Hassan one of the horsemen?" And I'm just like why? Why would Hassan be one of the horsemen? Like, like what of like the sort of sins, or not sins, like concepts of these slop tubers, of which I call the four horsemen of the slop apocalypse. Which one of these has Hassan committed, right? Negligence? I guess that can be argued. Okay, sure, negligence maybe. Indolence? Then you would have to say that about every fucking political live streamer. So I can grant negligence, but is it on like the scale of like a slop tuber? Then becomes the other question then. And I would say no, categorically speaking, no. Would we say then spite? I'm trying to think in what way has Hassan been spiteful, and to whom exactly, right? Yeah, Hassan doesn't really do spite posting, so that's not like really it. And what, indolence? I guess you can kind of make the argument about like React content in general, but you're gonna say that Hassan is indolent based off of like the sort of output of slop YouTubers? That's a little strange and very hypocritical, you know? Yeah, you would have to like then that would be a qualification for like literally every fucking content creator. Then at this point you would ask the question, okay, then who is a slop tuber? What is a slop tuber? What does that mean at this point? Then it just boils down to, well, meaningless, just nothingness, right? But then again, that's like what these people are okay with. They don't believe in any consistent definitions for anything, so... Eh? Okay, this isn't gonna probably be the prettiest thing, but I'd rather have the productivity for these gears. I can't use, So I can't use the foundry, because the foundry is way more efficient at producing gears. I have to use the assembly machines because I have the legendary plates already. So we're going to use our productivity modules for this. I mean, it's still, what? 60%? 60% is pretty good. Yeah, 60% is pretty good. I'll take 60. It's not the worst. Of course, if these were level tier 3 productivity modules, then I'd be getting, for every craft, I'd get an extra gear. Which is preferable, but we don't have that, so. Not yet, at least. Not until we start brute forcing some stuff, but that's fine. Oh, this is purely a bot-based farm, so, or bot-based mall, so this will make gears. This, do we need sticks? Yes, we do need sticks for power poles. So we need sticks, definitely need copper cables. Of course, all of these are going to take productivity modules. However, it's better if we use, of course, these for fucking copper cables. So cables, we will need engines, therefore we need pipes. So pipes, we need legendary pipe. Because here's the things that we want to make legendary. All of the inserters, We need these to be legendary, including those shitty ones, because you need the shitty ones to make the higher tier ones. These we obviously want legendary, those legendary, and these legendary. Maybe not the fastest herders so much, but definitely the bulks and the long-handeds. Power poles. We definitely want all of these power poles to be legendaries. Substations for sure. Medium electric power poles. Yeah, sure. We can make those legendary. We can also make big electric power poles legendary. These have to be legendary because they have a lot of intermediate recipes, so those will be legendary. Pumps. Just increases pumping speed. We'll make those legendary. I don't think there's any point at all in making trains legendary. Yeah, trains get no benefit from becoming legendary. The artillery trains do, but not these trains. What about vehicles? What do you get for being legendary? Nothing, because you're a mod. You know, those things don't interact with quality. Tanks. Tanks get a bigger equipment grid, so we will make those legendary. We don't need a ton of them. These also get a bigger equipment grid. Legendary Spidertrons obviously are good. Now bots. Bots in Roboports legendary are very, very strong. So we'll make those legendary. We can't really think at all about concrete yet. We don't have to make those legendary. These don't need to be legendary at all. Yeah, none of these things need to be legendary. This we need concrete for, which means we need stone and stone brick. So we'll get that set up eventually. Machines. Which machines can we make legendary? I don't need legendary solar panels. I have fusion reactors, those don't matter. Legendary nuclear reactors, do we need these? I'm not going to go for electric mining drills. We'd rather get legendary versions of the big mining drills. So ignore these. Pump jacks. These get like no benefit from legendary quality. Okay. Offshore pumps. Pump more. I guess we can have a stack of these. Furnaces. Yes, furnaces. We want legendary furnaces for sure. Because it probably like significantly ups our time, but we need stone brick for that. We'll get that set up eventually. Definitely want legendary foundries, legendary recyclers for sure as well, legendary biochambers. We need legendary assembly machines. Legendary oil refineries. Yeah. Increase the crafting speed there, sure. Chemical plants, sure. Centrifuges, sure. Electromagnetic plants, can't make them here. Centrifuges, can't make them here. Biolabs, can't make them here, but obviously we'd want legendary versions of those. Heating towers. Probably don't need them. Beacons, definitely want legendary beacons. So for all the intermediates, we also need pipe. We need engines. So we need legendary pipe. We need legendary, we need legendary engines. And we need legendary... We need legendary low density structures as well, but that'll be taken care of by the foundries. So we don't need those. I think that's it really, right? Just sticks, engines, pipes, and gears. And we can just stack them up with a bunch of speed modules. Because we're already crafting using like legendary material, so we don't have to care about the quality because we already have the legendaries of everything. We don't have to care about that shit. Just makes my life easier, to be honest. really speed up the crafting speed. We don't need a ton of engines. A bunch of pipe is necessary. Probably don't need a ton of sticks, and we definitely always need a lot of gears. Okay, so then for these shitters, should put a thing in the middle for this. I do not care about the fact that I don't want these to be banked up at all. I do care about the legendary... these being banked up. This because we can save a bit on materials if we use the inherent 50% productivity bonus. And by save, I mean we will save quite a bit. Because for every 2, we get an extra 1. So assembly machines, we don't need to go that crazy with them. What are you gonna assemble? It's legendary. Electrical engines? We do need electrical engines, and we're making lubricant already. So, legendary electrical engines it is. So we just need to bring the lubricant over. That's fine. Which I have already prepared. Speaking of lubricant. Lube. Lube. Oh, that is perfect. God, why am I so good at this game? Why am I so good? I mean, it's just better to go with productivity modules, though, honestly. Yeah, I don't know why I'm going with fucking speed modules. Just get productivity modules. Just get extra bang for your buck. Just have them supplied with 1 speed fucking beacon. Yeah. Just get extra... Yeah, I said I was gonna go with productivity modules. What the fuck am I doing? What the hell am I doing? Am I fucking stupid? That's a rhetorical question. That's a rhetorical question. You're not supposed to answer that. Because these shouldn't accept... Yeah, those don't accept productivity modules. Yeah, you don't accept productivity modules either because you're a finished product. So with intermediate and basic products, can have productivity with them. However, not finished products. Pipe count as a finished product, so they don't take productivity modules. Which, I mean, okay, sure, whatever. Why am I so sleepy? In fact, let me move these. Okay, I keep faffing about. I probably should talk about stuff, huh? But yeah, we're gonna make this 9 gigawatt fusion reactor. That's gonna be more than enough power for the new base. 9 gigawatts, huh? That's a lot. And it's not like fluoroketone is very expensive. It is quite cheap. I can just have my third ice ship just constantly go back and forth between Nalvis and Aquilo, grabbing fluoroketone barrels. So, that's fine. Very cool and very good.
Very cool, very good. Then after we're done, we have to post more fucking stuff.
I do have to say, at least this VOD is going to be relatively easy to edit because of the fact that not as much stuff is happening today, so it's going to take a lot less time to fucking edit all this shit. Editing! God. Okay, you know, this isn't going to be the prettiest looking base, but hey, if it works, it works. I'm not the best at design. Alright, so again, with all of the assembly machines. So assembly machines are complete. Let's get inserters out of the way next, because those are the next most important thing. Well, so would belts, but belts gain no benefit at all from having quality, so we don't need legendary qualities out of belts and splitters and undergrounds. They just get health bonuses. That's about it. So we don't need those. So inserters are next. So legendary inserters. We're gonna have a side one for the long hands. We want legendary blue inserters and legendary green inserters. Now, as for the fucking stack inserters, which also would be very good to have legendaries of, the problem with those ones in particular are the fact that, hey, they need... We can only make those on Gleba because they need jelly. And there's no way we're going to be able to have enough time to transport legendary fucking jelly to here in order to craft them into the legendary sort of whatever the fuck. Now, we could assemble them in space. Have a ship pick up a supply of a bunch of whatever the fuck, make the legendary jelly, and then send it up into orbit to assemble the stack inserters on a ship. That can work. But it's probably easier to just, like, raw dog it on Gleba. So. Ugh. And legendary red inserters. Now, for power poles. With power poles, we're going to obviously use electromagnetic plants for that because productivity bonus. I'm trying to think, do we also want legendary accumulators? Which means we need legendary batteries. What would a legendary accumulators accomplish for me? We want legendary beacons as well. Legendary accumulators. What are those gonna accomplish? I mean, these are good for your Fulgora. That's about it. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. I could put this on a lower priority, but obviously we want medium power poles. We definitely want big power poles, which have the same ingredients, just more for one over the other. And then substations. Wooden power poles? Who gives a fuck about them? Okay, so then the other things we want legendary are definitely roboports and bots. So legendary roboports. Very expensive, but very worthwhile. Because they recharge bots way faster, which means you can charge more of them at a time. And legendary bots are very, very good. They fly for faster and fly for longer. And what else could we use to make legendary? I think that's really about it. Oh, then we have the assembly machines. So what? We have the assembly machines, we have the oil refineries, and the chemical plants. And then the only thing that you need legendary stone for are stone brick for electric furnaces. But also there is some other stuff. Could also use legendary pumps. Do we want to make legendary steam turbines? Their output does go up. So does their consumption, I believe. Consumption of the... Do I have a bunch of, like... Because I think I've tested this on here. Do I have some, like, rare qualities of these things? I think I do. I feel like I do. Are you dumbasses running out of steam? Get plenty of water, you idiots. I'm curious. Taking a look at this again. Legendary steam turbine. Do we really need these, though? $14.5 megawatts. And what's their cost? But their consumption goes up to 150 per second. I think I'd rather just have fusion power, honestly. Just ignore this stuff. I don't think we need to do anything with nuclear. I think it's unnecessary. Also, I'd have to fucking completely fix the power plants. I don't want to fucking bother with that shit. Okay, I'm not gonna go with, like, nuclear stuff. What the fuck else can we make, then? Pump jacks do anything? I don't think so. Eventually, we're gonna have to figure out how to make legendary uranium-235. That's gonna be a pain in the ass, probably. Probably. And what else? Do I need legendary solid fuel? I don't think so. That's pretty much impossible to make, actually. Nah, fuck that. Actually, there is technically a way you can get legendary solid fuel, and that is through scrap on Fulgora. There's one way to get it. But it's a complete pain in the neck, so I'm not going to bother. Legendary batteries are for accumulators, mostly. So we will make those eventually. Legendary explosives. Do we need legendary explosives for anything? The only thing explosives make are fucking missiles. Do we need legendary ammos? I don't think so. It's unnecessary, I think. Man, what else? I'm trying to think. What else could we make that's legendary? I don't think there's really much of anything. If we're talking about the essentials. Ah! Never mind. This is probably the most important shit to make legendary. Here. Asteroid collectors. These things are fucking busted when they're legendary. Absolutely broken. Thrusters. They could go way faster, but the consumption does go up, obviously. Crushers have very fast processing speed. Cargo bays have a huge inventory capacity. Legendary rocket silos would be nice to have as well. Just craft rockets really, really fast. Yeah. And we don't need cargo landing pads. Those are useless, basically. Basically completely useless. Alright. I think it has been ultimately decided what we're going to be making legendary. So we're definitely going to go with offshore pumps. Pump jacks? I don't think pump jacks are necessary for it to become legendary. Electric mining drills? No. Big mining drills definitely will become legendary. What do you do when you become legendary? You need fluoroketone for these, huh? Captive biter spawners. I mean, we'll make these. Chemical plants for sure. Oil refineries? Yes. Biolabs? Absolutely, because these things are broken. When they're legendary. Centrifuges. I don't think I need centrifuges to be legendary. Okay. Alright. I think it's decided now. It's decided. Okay. Let's begin. Well. What do we have here? A rare Trump W. I think it's safe to say that this is a rare W here for the big man himself. But what do you got here? Donald Trump has signed the Take It Down Act into law. Criminalizes the non-consensual sharing of sexually explicit content, including AI-generated deepfakes. That's just good, yeah. I remember when that was a huge issue with like the whole Atriarch drama, right? Who remembers that? That was like that's like a fucking blast from the past. Social platforms and websites must remove reported Jesus. Social platforms and websites must remove reported imagery within 48 hours or face penalties. Thank you. Why was that so difficult for me to say? Jesus. With the rise of AI image generation, countless women have been harassed with deepfakes and other explicit images distributed against their will. This is wrong. Just so horribly wrong. It's a very abusive situation, and today we're making it totally illegal. I find it really funny that it is Trump who is the main person who is saying this, because, you know, he does have a bunch of credible allegations of, like, rape and sexual assault under his, sort of retinue. Under his belt. But, hey! Hey, man, if, like, listen, sometimes a broken clock is right twice a day. So, you know, kudos to you, Trump. I believe this was completely passed on, like, bipartisan lines. Like, everyone's just like, yeah. And I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, I think, you know, I think we're all okay with this. I think this is fine. Because, you know, we all remember the Atriarch situation, right? With, like, you know, with, like, fucking dumbass Ethan Klein, shitting on Cutie Cinderella for crying about it. Yeah, like I'm saying also Boy Meets Sooner. Yeah, broken clock, but hey, you know, it's a good thing. It's just a good thing. You know, I don't, you know, no problems here. Great. What do you got for me, big man?
Today it's my honor to officially sign the Take It Down Act into law. It's a big thing, very important, so horrible what takes place.
Yeah, again, I still find it funny that this is the motherfucker that's like doing this shit. But at least, hey, the dinosaurs at Congress are doing something about stuff like this. So, hey, broken clock, it's a good thing, Hey, yo, my bad, Slime.
This will be the first ever federal law to combat the distribution of explicit, imaginary, posted without subject's consent, take horrible pictures.
Oh, he has, like, no idea what he's talking about, does he? Guys, I don't think Trump knows what consent is. But, take what you can get, right?
And I guess sometimes even make up the pictures and they post it without consent or anything else. And very importantly, this includes for forgeries generated by artificial intelligence known as deepfakes. We've all heard about deepfakes. I have them all the time, but nobody does anything. I asked Pam, can you help me, Pam? She says, no, I'm too busy. Too busy doing other things. Don't worry, you'll survive. But a lot of people don't survive. That's true, and it's so horrible. With the rise of AI image generation, countless women have been harassed with deepfakes and other explicit images distributed against their will.
That's funny,
dude. This is the wrong, and it's just so horribly wrong. And it's
very
a
bad.
very abusive situation. Like,
yeah, he's very not invested in this. But hey, I think this is like Melania's measure, so he's just like,
I'll go along with it because my wife already hates me as much. She already fucking hates my guts so much, but we'll just go along with this so then she's not as pissed with me.
But hey, listen, dude, I'm saying right now, if good outcomes happen, I even said the same thing with the First Step Act. That's a good piece of legislation that fucking Trump signed into law. I like the last couple days of his administration in the first term. So it's just like, hey, this is a good thing. Cool, great, fantastic. I guess this is like the one instance of like Trump doing a good thing. I do believe that this has been mostly spearheaded by his wife, mostly by Melania. I think is the one that's leading the charge on this. But it's one of those situations where it's just like, sure, man, yeah, I have no problem with this. Great, something that's leading to like good outcomes. I don't think it's correct for me to say by accident, but I'm totally okay with this because the fucking deepfake shit is fucking psychotic, dude. That shit's really fucking bad. Like with the example I mentioned earlier with like the whole drama that happened between Atriarch and Cutie Cinderella, I believe, right? It's the dude's name's Atriarch, right? I'm getting that name correctly. I'm really fucking bad with names. I know it was with Cutie Cinderella, and I just remember like Ethan, the horseman of hypocrisy, laughing at Cutie about that. Or really, he was like trying to do like a bit, and he ended up laughing, and it made him look really, really bad. Atriarch. Okay, yes, I am getting the name correct about the dude who got that was the dude who got the fucking images, right? Which is just like, he's like a big streamer, and it's just really fucking weird that I don't even know why, because it's one of those situations where I have to like sit there and I think to myself like, why the fuck are people doing this, right? Why are people getting like deep fake images of like women? Okay, I'm saying that purely rhetorically. I know actually why. Because most of them are like sexual abusers who like get off on the fact that like they can like basically abuse a woman without them like really fucking knowing about it. And like you're also saying, Boy Meets Minnie, yeah, gooner shit as well. The weirdo gooners and whatnot. It's just kind of bad. Period. Bad. This is a bad thing. I think this is something that's also been purely spearheaded by Melania. Right? It's mostly like Melania's thing. I remember like during the press conference. Let me get this. See if I could find the full presser. Take it down act press conference. Like Trump like mentioned Putin in there. It was very funny. Sure, let's go with this. We can go with this. Why not? Skip a little forward.
It's an honor to join you here today for the signing of the Take It Down Act, a national victory that will help parents and families protect children from online exploitation. This legislation is a powerful step.
Yeah, that's going to be the main justification that, like, Republicans are going to talk about. And I don't disagree with them there. I'm trying to think, like, because the main people who do, like, all the weird fucking deepfake shit tends to be fucking conservatives, right? Like, a lot of fucking conservatives, for whatever fucking reason, like, who remembers, like, all the fucking weird deepfake shit? Because this was a thing that happened a while ago with Taylor Swift. And guess who were the people that were doing that? That was mostly conservatives who were doing that stuff. So,
listen, folks. We're trying to win the optics battle here, guys. You know, optics. We have to think about the optics. Very important, folks.
You know, it's really like, it's silly to say that, but like, I mean, technically speaking, it's true, right? Like,
you know, we have to do a little bit of wokeism, you know, sometimes. It is what it is, folks. Like, you gotta be a little woke sometimes. My wife, you know, she cares about it because she's a model and whatnot. It's very important, folks, very important.
But, yeah, like I've been saying before, yeah, broken clock, right twice a day. If it leads to good outcomes, then hey, I'm not gonna complain. Yeah, sure. Good job.
Step forward in our efforts to ensure that every American, especially young people, can feel better protected from their image or identity being abused through non-consensual intimate imagery of I and CII. Artificial intelligence and social media are the digital candy for the next generation. Sweet, addictive, and engineered to have an impact on the cognitive development of our children. But unlike sugar, these new technologies can be weaponized, shape beliefs, and sadly affect emotions and even be deadly. Over the past few months,
many
I
people
have met
are
with
saying
survivors,
this, folks.
deeply loving families, and caring advocates who know firsthand the emotional and psychological toll of NCII and deepfake abuse. Alison Berry stood boldly for change, despite the risk posed to her and her family by speaking out.
Who is Allison Berry? I'm assuming probably like what? I'm assuming it's probably a teenager or someone who was probably affected by like weirdo deepfake shit or something. Yeah, that's probably true.
And making her voice heard. Alison, your voice and the voices of so many like you made this bill a national priority. Many thanks to members of Congress.
That's true.
Both parties.
I totally agree, Melania.
Including Speaker Johnson, Senator Cruz, Senator Klobuchar, Congresswoman Salazar, Congresswoman Dean, and Congressman Guthrie, and so many more. Thank you all for coming together to prioritize people over politics.
We love people, folks, don't we?
As First Lady, my Be Best initiative is focused on improving children's well-being, encouraging kindness, and creating a safer online environment for our youth. Today,
I'm sorry to say, Melania, unfortunately, in terms of creating a kind environment, I don't think you're at the correct party for that, girl. I'm sorry. I just have to say, I don't think that the Republican Party is very conducive, especially with the constituents that inhabit it, are very conducive to fostering kind engagements within online spaces. I'm sorry. I have to shit on that just a little bit. I'm so sorry.
Today, I'm proud to say that the values of Be Best will be reflected in the law of the land. I want to thank my husband, President Trump, for standing with us on this effort.
Thank you very much to me.
His signature on this new law is not where our work ends on this issue. Now we look to the Federal Trade Commission and the private sector to do their part. Today, through the Take It Down Act, we affirm that the well-being of our children.
Please do something about the deepfakes corporations, please and thank you.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce the President. Thank you.
That was a great job. Well, I want to thank everybody. We just spent 2.5
Is this gonna be Trump for the rest of the time? Yeah.
hours talking to Vladimir Putin, and I think some progress has been made.
I spent a couple hours talking to Putin.
Sir, this is your wife's event.
I mean, talking with Melania about this.
Terrible situation going on over there. 5,000 young people every single week are being killed. So hopefully we did something. We also spoke to the heads of most of the European nations, and we're trying to get that whole thing wrapped up.
Right.
It's a shame that it ever started in the first place.
God, it's so funny that he's mentioning fucking Russia, Ukraine. It's hilarious, but I mean, whatever.
So, but I want to thank Melania for your leadership in this very important issue. It's an amazing issue. America is blessed to have such a dedicated and compassionate First Lady. I would tell you she is very dedicated. In fact,
The most dedicated, folks. What can I say? Very, very dedicated.
They respect your wife a lot. I said, what about me? No, they will. They like Melania better. That wasn't good. I don't know if that was good. I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I also want to congratulate the First Lady in securing $25 million.
Wait, did he do like some fucking weird grievance shit again?
But I want to thank Melania for your leadership in this very important issue. It's an amazing issue. America is blessed to have such a dedicated and compassionate First Lady. I would tell you she is very dedicated. In fact, if you look at just what I heard, Putin just said they respect your wife a lot. I said, what about me? No, they will. They like Melania better.
He's mad about he's so mad about the fact that Putin is still bombing Ukraine, despite the fact that he's like, Trump is like trying to do some form of diplomacy still with the Russians. Like, buddy, you even said it yourself.
I think the Russians are trying to play me like a fiddle.
It's just like, you recognize that now, that the Russians are trying to play you like a fiddle. All right. Sure, man.
That wasn't good. I don't know if that was good. I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I also want to congratulate the First Lady in securing $25 million in the first fiscal year, 2026, budget to provide housing and support for youth transitioning out of the foster care. And I can say that she loves children, and you really worked very hard on this, and you had a lot of help from some friends of mine right here, and a lot of the senators are here and congressmen, and I appreciate you all being here. We're also grateful to be joined by people that are just in love with what we're doing. It's such an important situation, and commissioners of the Federal Trade Commission and the CEO of X, Linda Yaccarino. Where are you, Linda? Where are you, Linda? Thank you.
We love X, folks.
Thank you, Linda.
X is gonna give it to you, folks.
Great job.
Gonna give it to you.
Big deal, right? That's great. Today, it's my honor to officially sign the Take It Down Act into law. It's a big thing, very important, so horrible what takes place. This will be the first ever federal law.
Very horrible.
Distribution of
The worst thing on the planet.
imaginary, posted without subject's consent. They take horrible pictures, and I guess sometimes even make up the pictures, and they post it without consent or anything else. And very importantly, this.
This is the bit that we just listened to. Again, it's really funny that this fucking credible rapist is talking about consent.
Includes for forgeries generated by artificial intelligence known as deepfakes. We've all heard about deepfakes. I have them all the time, but nobody does anything. I asked Pam, can you help me, Pam? She says, no, I'm too busy. Too busy doing other things. Don't worry, you'll survive. But a lot of people don't survive. That's true, and so horrible.
People that don't survive, folks, they can't do it.
Women have been harassed with deepfakes and other explicit images distributed against their will. This is the wrong, and it's just so horribly wrong.
So bad.
It's a very abusive situation, like in some cases people have never seen before. And today we're making it totally illegal.
Very illegal.
Thank you. Upon hearing the stories of
So illegal,
affected,
folks.
our First Lady made stopping these abuses a top priority, and she was given tremendous support because she'd go up to people and talk about it. They say, yeah, we know about it. We have the problem. Can we do something? And she did something about it with the help of a lot of the people, especially the political people sitting here today among Melania's guests. And
Did a lot of help.
during my
We did a lot of
joint
help, folks.
session
We
of
did a
Congress
lot,
was
folks.
a 15-year-old young person, Elliston Berry, whose image was turned into an illicit deepfake by a peer. Elliston, where are you? Are you around? Stand up, darling. That's fine. Beautiful. Great. Thank you. It's fantastic. Elliston quickly became a powerful advocate committed to preventing other girls from suffering the same abuse. Elliston, we salute you and we thank you very much, and it's an honor to have you with us today. Great job you've done.
Very good.
Also with us are several other brave Americans whose lives were rocked by online harassment, including Francesca Manny, as well as a South Carolina...
I find it really funny that he's talking about fucking online harassment when he is quite literally a part of the political party that does the most online harassment. But, like, dude, maybe you should say that to some of your supporters. They love to fucking harass people online all the fucking time. But I feel like this message, albeit he is correct that he's saying this, they might fall on deaf ears, unfortunately.
State Representative Brandon Guffey and his family, who've lost their son to suicide after he was targeted in an internet extortion scam, of which you have a lot of them. A lot.
A lot of scams,
for your
folks.
incredible work and to reach this important day. Could you stand up, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Great
Please
job.
stand
I
up.
read about it. Thank you very much. It's a real honor to have you here. Because there's no place like the White House, I found out. You know, you have a lot of places, and I just left some of the richest places, and we loved them, and they gave us a nice contribution of about $5 trillion, but this is a special place. Even they talk about...
He's talking about his Middle East trip right now. That's so dumb, dude.
So it's great to have everybody here. Under the law, I will sign in just a moment. Anyone who intentionally distributes explicit images without the subject's consent will face up to 3 years in prison. In addition, this law establishes new civil liabilities for online platforms that refuse to take these images down promptly upon request. We will not tolerate online sexual exploitation, and especially it's gone on at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's getting worse and worse, and I think this is going to hopefully stop it. And not easy to do. People talk about all...
I mean, we could probably, I don't know, quibble about, like, people, like, what the sort of, like, punitive form about, like, I guess the method of punishment that's mostly being done here. But honestly, like, who the fuck cares about that? Like, if we're talking about, like, I guess, like, the sort of new form of, like, online sexual harassment. Because that's how I basically see, like, deepfakes as. I think it's pretty fair to say that it is a new form of, like, online sexual harassment, right? So, you know, you can get jailed for sexually harassing people. Yeah, sure, fuck it, you can also do that. I know that there was also, like, some people saying, like, well, I mean, okay, like, there could be problems with, like, free speech and shit like that. There's, like, some advocacy groups that were talking about that. But I think that also kind of rings on deaf ears, to be honest. Yeah, I'll be quite honest. I think that also just kind of, like, falls on deaf ears.
We're fucked.
Thank you, Ford. That also just kind of falls on deaf ears because, like, if it's the federal government, the executive already has, like, so much power. If they wanted to, like, I don't know, get you on some other fucking random bullshit already, they could have done that by now. So, like, I think that kind of argument also falls on deaf ears. So, as far as I'm concerned, honestly, like, yeah, this is just, broadly speaking, I'd say it's just a good thing. I'll be honest.
So it's a First Amendment, Second Amendment. They talked about any amendment they could make up. And
all the amendments, folks.
There's some very brave people, including some very brave politicians in the audience. I want to thank the bill sponsor, Senator Ted Cruz. Ted, stand up, please.
Ted, please stand up.
Thank you, Ted. It's great. Very effective person. And Congresswoman Maria Salazar, a friend of mine. Thank you, Maria. Thank you very much for their amazing work, and thanks also to the 99 senators and 408 members of Congress who voted in favor of the bill. Wow, I wish we could get that vote from other things. We have another bill coming up. Do you think we'll get that vote? Maybe not. We should, but we probably won't. But working with our First Lady, we've shown that bipartisanship is still possible.
Is he talking about the, like, budget resolution? I don't think that's happening, buddy. I'm sorry to say, bud.
Well, that's true. 99 senators. That's incredible. Senator, stand up. Look at that, John. You're here. Look at all of the senators.
I wonder who's the one senator that didn't vote for this. Or maybe was absent? Who's that one? Who's the one?
This is big stuff. I'm in trouble because I don't have your names. They didn't give me these names. We have so many. We have half of the Senate here. Now they're all going to hate me because I can't introduce you. Oh, we don't have the time for that. I have to get back to Putin and people. But thank you very much for being here.
Very important to talk with Vladimir Putin, folks.
Working with our First Lady, though, we've shown that bipartisanship is possible. I mean, it's the first time I've seen such...
Very true. We love bipartisanship, folks.
I'm not even sure you realize, honey, you know, a lot of the Democrats and Republicans don't get along so well. You've made them get along, and she didn't even know about that. She didn't know we had a problem. She didn't know we had a problem. But I want to thank you, honey. You've done amazing that this was done when you started it. I said, I don't know, it sounds like a tough one.
Amazing.
And you had a very important one, and you got it done. So I congratulate you, and I congratulate Ted, Maria, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, and we'll sign the bill. Thank you.
We're gonna sign it. Very good.
I guess this is them signing the bill. Yeah, they're just signing the bill now. Cool! So I guess this is in effect. Get owned, Atriarch, I guess. No more with weird fucking deepfakes. I mean, hyperbole aside, yeah, you know, broken clock strikes twice a day, you know? Yeah, it's a good bill. Good thing to sign. I've even said the same thing before about the, the First Step Act. It's just good. It's just a good bill. Good legislation. I also complimented Trump on that signing of that piece of legislation. Because, like, you know, unlike what most conservatives probably think, I do have standards, you know? If good things are signed, no matter who signs them, I'll be like, oh, that's a good thing. Good job on signing that. Whoever the hell signed them. Crazy. Who would have thought? But yeah, you know, it's a good thing that this got signed into legislation. I don't know, like that's really all I got to say about that. Overall, it's a good act. Revenge porn is bad. Deep fakes are bad. Right, because this also goes after revenge porn, I believe, as well, right? I think so. I think it also goes after revenge porn. Yeah, going after those things, I think I would classify as being good things. You know, I am for good things and against bad things. Stupid hyperbole aside. But yeah, you know, relatively speaking, if we're talking about like efficacious, solid pieces of legislation, yeah, this is one of them, and it passed on a bipartisan result. You know, people have said like the meme before about like, if anything gets passed like on a bipartisan basis, generally speaking, that should be regarded as like automatically bad. And I do agree with this sentiment, but I'll be honest, when it comes to like something like this. Let's keep it a $1.50. I'll be quite honest. I think that this is just like a good thing to sort of pass. So yeah, you know, broken clock, right, twice a day, kind of a deal. You know, it's a good thing that you know, these fucking weirdos are like being stopped from posting sexually explicit content and material using deepfakes and like AI and shit like that. So yeah, I don't know. That's all I really got to say about this. Good bill. Will there be more like this? I don't know. Hopefully, maybe. Who knows? Well, anyway, that's all I really think. That's all I really got to say about this. I think. Yeah, that's about it. What are you fucking putoing about, you putis? What are you fucking going papega about? Complaining about Daho O? Yeah, I think I tried to put that in when I had the emote made, and then it got fucking blocked, because obviously. By Twitch, because it says it's Daho. Haha, funny.
Twitch doesn't like my play on words.
Oi. I wish I would stop getting Facebook notifications. I don't care about them. Fuck off. I don't give a shit.
Oh, so what do you have to say for yourself, Papega? What, are you just gonna be Papega right now? Ford, you puto? Putis? This fucking puto. The Fortnite. If you want to talk about putos. Man, do I got a puta you can talk about? Ford. Fucking puto. Fucking puto.
Okay. Well, we've almost created the bot mall, folks. Very important.
Let's see. If I hover on... the only thing you get is a health increase. So those are completely worthless, basically, okay? Crafting speed. So those are worth. Oh, pump jacks. It's just health. Just health. So these are completely worthless as well.
Very cool. Very good, folks. What can I say?
Why am I so sleepy? What? Alright. So we want chemical plants, oil refineries, legendary. I don't have stone fucking brick. Okay. Right, that's the other thing. You need fucking stone brick for fucking oil refineries. Well.
All right. What the hell else do we need before we flick this thing on? Don't need that. Don't care about solar panels.
I think it might be time to make that fucking legendary calcite farmer. Because now we do need the stone. Yeah, we're gonna need the stone now. And the problem is with the route in particular, that calcite is probably going to be the slowest thing in particular. And the reason for that is because the most common asteroids that you find on the way are metallic and carbonic asteroids. So it's going to require a lot of reprocessing, reshuffling of the fucking rocks in order to fucking get those legendary fucking oxidized asteroids for them to be turned into legendary calcite. So
that's gonna be a bit of a pain in the ass.
But as has been said before, the recipe involved in making utilizing legendary stone and calcite and stuff is stupidly fucking efficient. Like stupidly efficient. So you're gonna get a ton of stone anyways. So it's, and we don't need a lot of stone for what we need to do, so it's not like the end of the world. That calcite supplies are going to be relatively slow, but it's not that big of a deal. Man, I think the only thing, then it's electromagnetic plants is what we need. Besides assembly machines, we need electromagnetic plants. Those can only be made on Fulgora. Refineries can only be made on Vulcanus. Same with big mining drills. Recyclers, also Fulgora. These can be made on Novice. In fact, those are the only way you can make these is on Novice. But we need more shit for that. And a bunch of other stuff. Just get lucky, forehead. Well, eventually that's all we can really do with some of these things, is just get lucky, forehead, unironically. Legendary repair kits get a lot more durability. Oh boy. Beacons. That's right, we need beacons.
We need beacons, folks. Very important, obviously. You also need to make more steel and copper. Lots of steel, lots of copper, folks. Very important.
Yeah, those iron gotcha ships, by the way, they are filling up with iron very, very fast. You know, the return on investment for legendary fucking iron is very, very high. You can consume it pretty quick, but doesn't matter. You can make a ton of it super, super easily. If we want to have like a sink for it, I guess we could also make like a bunch of steel and furnaces, but that's such a waste. Whew. Oh, this shit's almost at plus 200% productivity. So with plus 200% productivity on these, basically return on investment is only going to, or loss of investment is only going to be 25%. So eventually this will just be able to make a loop in of itself relatively soon. So that's good. Then we can do the infamous LDS shuffle. And we'll just have way more fucking steel and copper and plastic than we will know what to do with.
But it'll take some time, folks. It'll take some time.
I'm just glad I was able to replicate this fucking thing.
Did a very good job replicating this thing.
Eventually we'll have to think about this disposal of all the excess copper and steel that we're going to be making, because eventually you're going to have a shit ton of that stuff. Alright. Well, let's get started on this shit. Well. Trump had a call with
the Big P. I love the Big P, folks. I mean, not the golden shower kind. No, I don't. Not that, folks. I'm talking about Vladimir. I love Vladimir. He's one of my favorite guys.
But what do you got here? Trump says call with Putin went very well. Russia opened a ceasefire and wants to trade with the U.S. Ukraine's Zelensky says Kiev considering high-level meeting with Russia, U.S., Britain, and EU countries. What we got here? U.S. President Donald Trump said Monday that Russia and Ukraine will immediately begin ceasefire and negotiations after what he described as an excellent call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. I wonder why Russia wants to trade with us. It couldn't be because they're trying to get back onto the global monetary systems. Can't be because of that. Trump also spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders in hopes of making progress toward a ceasefire.
The conditions for that will be negotiated between the two parties, as it can only be because they know details of a negotiation that nobody else would be aware of,
Trump said in a social media post. A very roundabout way of saying this, but, whatever. Could also be China doing more EU deals. That is probably also a reason. I don't think. No, I don't think I agree with that. Boy Meets Mini. I'm gonna be honest. We know about the initial Signal group chat leaks, right? We know about that initial group chat leak that a lot of people within the Trump administration just have an utter contempt for the Europeans. So I don't think they necessarily care about that all that much. Maybe they would prefer to have them make deals with the Chinese so they are no longer on the US dole. Whatever the fuck that means. It's a meaningless, stupid, idiotic conspiracy theory, of course, but whatever. They just hate the fact that, Europeans are, more functional democracies than they are, and have better outcomes. Quite literally, with the Trump's recent drug cap plan, he basically just wants the Europeans to pay what the U.S. pays for drugs, which, if you have half of a brain cell, you should understand why that's really stupid. But unfortunately, we don't operate under such times. So whatever. What else do we got here? This statement here is kind of weird, right? Because Trump wants to be sort of seen as the guy who's I'm a wheeler and dealer. I love making deals. I love wheeling. I love dealing. I love feeling. I like memeing. I love feeling very important, folks. What can I say? Feeling very important. Feeling like I'm making a lot of deals. A lot of big deals. A lot of stuff going on. That's also another thing, which is why one of the reasons why Trump is upset with Israel, because Israel keeps getting in the way of the deals that he wants to make. He wants to make it look like he's a master negotiator and stuff like that. That's the, I guess, particular autistic fixation that he has, but that's really about it. Is the 1000% an optics play for Trump and Putin knows it? Yeah, probably, right? Because Putin wants to continue the war, obviously, because he feels like he can now win the war, because he knows he can if he flatters Trump enough and strings him along enough, he can prolong the war to his benefit. But I've been saying before, Boy Meets Mini, if Trump feels like Putin is getting in the way of his sort of wheeling and dealing persona that he's trying to put up with. Eventually, he's gonna snub the Russians like he's trying to snub the Israelis. Eventually, Israel is now letting in supposedly a limited amount of aid into Gaza after previously letting in basically none. So we'll see. Trump said the call was excellent, adding, "If it wasn't, I would say so now rather than later." The conversations came after the White House said the U.S. leader had grown frustrated with both leaders continuing the war in Ukraine. Okay. Trump, who's the main guy who has been constantly snubbing you and continuing the bombings? Oh, it's been Putin and the Russians. If there's anyone to be pissed with, it's him. He's the one who started all the fighting. But okay, sure, man. After the call, Putin said Russia was ready to continue discussing an end to the fighting. but he indicated there was no major breakthrough in what he termed a very informative and very frank conversation with Trump. Putin said the warring sides should find compromises that would suit all parties. I mean, that is what negotiation means, but again, what is Putin's sort of like... Putin's positions have been irreconcilable with the Ukrainians, which is why I've been saying this fucking constantly. That's why there hasn't been any deal that's been sorted out. The two sides are completely irreconcilable. The Ukrainians do not want to give up any of their territory because they were invaded. Understandable. They were the invaded party. Why should they give up territory? Meanwhile, what the Russians want are the 4 oblasts that they have annexed, parts of the 4 oblasts they have annexed, and also parts of those oblasts. So that would be Luhansk, I think Kherson, and the Zaporizhia oblasts. They also want the parts of the oblasts that are still currently under Ukrainian control, and for them to continue with their denazification, that complete nebulous term, which has been, I don't know, is completely fucking meaningless. It means nothing to Putin in particular. But he also wants the Ukrainians to demilitarize. Why should the Ukrainians demilitarize? The Ukrainians have pretty credible reasons to not trust anything from the Russians, so why should they demilitarize? And that's also why Zelensky has been having problems agreeing to any deals, because just we need something tangible in order to make sure that the Russians no longer invade us, which would be to the benefit of everyone. But unless we get boots on the ground or something, the Russians are just gonna attack us again, because why wouldn't they just attack us again? Moscow, he said, will propose and is ready to work with Ukraine on a memorandum outlining the framework of a future peace treaty. At the same time, I would note that, in general, Russia's position is clear. The main thing for us is to eliminate the root cause of this crisis. Dude, you're the one who caused the crisis by justifying it off of fucking blood and soil and nationalistic fucking tendencies, dude. No, you're the fucking root cause of all this. Okay, so do you want to abdicate your position then, Putin? Because you're the one who's fucking done all of this. You're the main problem. So sure, I could agree with that. Okay, you can abdicate. You could just resign at your position as the president of Russia. Fantastic, very good. Zelensky said on Monday that Kiev and its partners were considering arranging a high-level meeting between Ukraine, Russia, the United States, European Union, and Britain as part of a push to end Moscow's war in Ukraine. Speaking to reporters in Kiev, after holding 2 phone calls with Trump, the Ukrainian leader said that he hoped the meeting could happen as soon as possible and that it could be hosted by Turkey, the Vatican, or Switzerland. We are considering a meeting of all teams at a high level, he said. Zelensky said he spoke to Trump one-on-one on Monday before the U.S. leader called Putin, and again afterwards in a conversation that involved the leaders of France, Finland, and Germany, Italy, and the EU. He said that during the initial call with Trump, he underlined the need for a ceasefire and sanctions on Russia, as well as the importance of Kiev's allies not reaching agreements with Russia without Ukraine. It's understandable. He's the other affected party. Crazy. I'm very focused. It is a challenging time for us now, he said. Trump's frustration builds over failure to end war. Yeah, because remember, he said, I'm going to have this all resolved day 1. It's day fucking 100-something. It's still not resolved. Trump has struggled to end a war that began with Russia's invasion in February 2022. That makes these conversations a serious test of his reputation as a deal-maker after he claimed he would quickly settle the conflict once he was back in the White House, if not even before he took office, which didn't happen, obviously. Trump expressed his hopes for a productive day Monday and a ceasefire, but ahead of the call, Vice President J.D. Vance said Trump is more than open to walking away from trying to end the war if he feels Putin isn't serious about negotiation. I have bad news for you guys, but I think Putin isn't very serious about negotiation. I'm just saying. He's grown weary and frustrated with both sides of the conflict. Yes, because of... Yeah, because the Ukrainians have done so much to warrant the fact that they've done so much in this conflict to prompt Trump to be have animosity about this. Yes, of course. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters Monday ahead of the call. He has made it clear to both sides that he wants to see a peaceful resolution and ceasefire as soon as possible. Pushing friend. That's another article. The Republican president is banking on the idea that his force of personality and personal history with Putin will be enough to break any impasse over a pause in the fighting. Yeah, man, like Rizlord Trump. Rizlord Trump is going to be the main person to sort of bring an end to the conflict. Sure, man. I'd say we are more than open to walking away, Vance told reporters before leaving Rome after meeting with Pope Leo XIV. Vance said Trump has been clear that the U.S. is not going to spin its wheels here if we want to see outcomes. Trump said the Vatican expressed interest in hosting negotiations, but there was no immediate confirmation that any talks had been scheduled. Still, there are fears Trump has an affinity for Putin that could put Ukraine at a disadvantage with any agreements engineered by the United States government. Bridget Brink said she resigned last month as the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine because the policy since the beginning of the administration was to put pressure on the victim, Ukraine, rather than on the aggressor, Russia. Whoa! Crazy. Trump hates victims? Who would have thought? Crazy. I mean, this is also the same guy who has said, like, listen, if you got captured as a prisoner of war, you're a fucking pussy-ass bitch. Brink said the sign that she needed to depart was an Oval Office meeting in February when Trump and his team openly berated Zelensky for not being sufficiently deferential to them. I believe that peace at any price is not peace at all, Brink said. It's appeasement, and as we know from history, appeasement only leads to more war. I mean, she's correct there. Trump's frustration about the war had been building before his post Saturday on Truth Social about the coming calls. Trump said his discussion with Putin would focus on stopping the bloodbath of the war. It also will cover trade, a sign that Trump might be seeking to use financial incentives to broker some kind of agreement after Russia's invasion led to severe sanctions by the United States and its allies, which has steadily eroded Moscow's ability to grow. Trump's hope, according to the Post, is that a war that should have never happened will end. Okay, like, Trump, your deference to Putin had a role to play in the fact that he decided to go to war. The Kurt Strait incident quite literally happened under, your fucking tendency as president. The separatist war happened, or was happening rather, while you were fucking president, and you didn't really do anything about that. I mean, he's like quick to brag about the fact that he sent weapons to the fucking Ukrainians, but like is also quick to be like, listen, I had nothing to do with this war. But you fucking said weapons to them. Technically speaking, yeah, you're about as culpable and involved in this war as the Ukrainians are. There's like no real difference here. So why are you making this fucking distinction without a difference? It's very silly. Oh yeah, of course Boy Meets Minnie. Again, like, the reason why he's got to grease palms is because he wants to make himself look like a very big negotiator and deal maker. His Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, told Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press that Trump had made it clear that a failure by Putin to negotiate in good faith could lead to additional sanctions against Russia. Bessent suggested the sanctions that began during the administration of Democratic President Joe Biden were inadequate because they did not stop Russia's oil revenues due to concerns that doing so would increase U.S. prices. You know, it's not a bad point actually by Bessent. Actually, a good point. I'll give Bessent that. What he's saying here is true. The United States sought to cap Russia's oil revenues while preserving the economy's petroleum exports to limit the damage from inflation that the war produced. But hey, unfortunately, like, listen, here's the thing. Listen, just go into more of a trade deficit with Canada and then have, like, more 51st state talk or some shit. I don't know. It's very, very silly. But, I mean, you know, there is one person to blame for all of this, and it's the fucking Russians, so. No ceasefire, but an exchange of prisoners. Putin recently rejected an offer by Zelensky to meet in person in Turkey as an alternative to a 30-day ceasefire urged by Ukraine and its Western allies, including Washington. Yeah, that's been the current thing. Like, Putin tried to push for like a 2-day ceasefire during the fucking Russia Victory Day parade or whatever the fuck. And then, like, that got rejected because Putin was just like, rather Zelensky was just like, no, why don't we just do a 30-day ceasefire instead that I proposed? And Putin was just like, nah, we're not going to do that. It's like, all right, man, sure. I guess we're still at war for now. No ceasefire, but sure. Those talks ended on Friday after less than 2 hours without a ceasefire in place. Still, both countries committed to exchange 1,000 prisoners of war each, with Ukraine's intelligence chief, Kirilo Budanov, saying on Ukrainian television Saturday that the exchanges could happen as early as this week. While wrapping up his 4-day trip to the Middle East, Trump said on Friday that Putin had not gone to Turkey because Trump himself wasn't there.
He and I will meet, and I think we'll solve it, or maybe not,
Trump told reporters after boarding Air Force One.
At least we'll know, and if we don't solve it, it will be very interesting. Or it'll be very interesting.
Zelensky met with Trump's President J.D. Vance and top diplomat Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Rome on Sunday, as well as European leaders, intensifying his efforts before the Monday calls. The Ukrainian president said on social media site X that during his talks with the American officials, they discussed negotiations in Turkey and that the Russians sent a low-level delegation of non-decision makers. He also said he stressed that Ukraine is engaged in real diplomacy to have a ceasefire. Yeah, not so much with the Russians, because again, like I said before, what do they want? Well, to subjugate the Ukrainians. They want the land. They want to conquer it. They want to build empire as like a final send-off for Putin. That's mostly why. But obviously that's failed. The German government said Chancellor Friedrich Merz and French, British, and Italian leaders spoke with Trump late Sunday about the situation in Ukraine's upcoming call with Putin. A brief statement gave no details of the conversation, but said the plan is for the exchange to be continued directly after the Trump-Putin call. In a post on X about the conversation, French President Emmanuel Macron said that Putin on Monday must show he wants peace by accepting the 30-day unconditional ceasefire proposed by President Trump and backed by Ukraine and Europe. I mean, that's true. That's a good point. Because, like, the Russians, yet again, they have shown no indication that they're willing to act in good faith. Like, basically ever. The push came as the Kremlin launched its largest drone barrage against Ukraine since the start of the full-scale invasion in 2022, firing a total of 273 exploding drones and decoys. Ukraine's Air Force said Sunday the attacks that targeted the country's Kiev, Dnipropetrovsk, there we go, and Donetsk regions. So, I think this also was another thing that really has been pissing off Trump. You know, the fact that Putin's just like,
why is he not listening to me? I don't understand why my flatty poo's not listening to me. I thought we were good friends, Vladimir. What the heck, man? What's going on? I thought we were great friends. Nah, dude, he's playing you for a fiddle. Because again, like, for the objective of the Russians is they've never really cared at all about peace. For them, it's all about imperial conquest and subjugation. That's what it's always been about. But, you know, Trump, you've been getting played for a fiddle, bud. You've been getting played for fiddle there, bud. So, you know, I don't think there's really much else to say here, right? Like, the Europeans and the Europeans and the Ukrainians obviously are trying in good faith to see if there can be a resolution in the conflict. But the Russians are doing basically everything possible in order to make that as hard as possible. Because, again, Putin himself is not interested really in a ceasefire. For him, like I've said before, constantly, he wants imperial conquest because he wants to secure a legacy for himself. That's what this has always been all about for him in the end. It's imperial conquest for the express purpose of legacy building. Because, again, he's pretty fucking old now. And there have been rumors about potential health problems that Putin might be having. So,
That's obviously something that's going to be in the back of the minds of the oligarchs, the Russian state, and probably even in Putin himself, right? Like, we all know the sort of basis for as to why the war started to begin with. Obviously, it started from the beginning because of the fact that Putin was starting to suffer a little bit in terms of his approval ratings, because of the fact that, hey, well, the economy still fundamentally is not really improving all that much. So what do nationalistic dictators do all the time in order to help shore up their approval ratings whenever they're starting to encounter problems at home with domestic policy? Oh, they tend to do imperialistic invasions in order to satiate the sort of like desires and wants of the ultra-nationalists, in order to be able to, simply put, satiate those desires and simply just, play them off as like completely like, yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. So it's irrelevant. Who cares? We're just gonna like distract you with this like war that has been like a sort of goal and like a legacy that I've always wanted to build for myself. And we're just gonna do this in order to just, hey, distract from the fact that the economy is kind of doing bad in Russia. That's purely what it's always been about for this invasion. Like, and I mean, you can immediately tell from just the justifications. Like, it was like pure blood and soil fucking rhetoric. It's silly. Like, the little Russian brother, the Ukrainians. Yeah, man, totally. But yeah, that's what it's always been about. We'll just have to wait and see what kind of happens. If there is any ceasefire proposal. Hopefully it's something that the Ukrainians get to benefit from. And it's not just like complete fucking nonsense. And again, Trump is also going to have to be he's kind of a wild card in all of this as well. Because one day he can just get kind of mad and just, I don't know, just throw everything out of the pram. So, like I've been saying constantly with this conflict, we just kind of have to wait and see what happens. Whatever happens, happens at this point. So hopefully it's a beneficial outcome specifically for the Ukrainians. That's all we can really fucking wish for at this point. But yeah, I don't think there's really much else to say here besides that. Alright, cool. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you shouldn't have trusted Biden on this either. Biden was not particularly great on this either, because he was adopting the whole stupid dumb fuck Clintonite strategy, right? So, but yeah, Biden was not really much better either.
Biden also sucked. I'm the best, obviously. Look at me. I'm so good.
Okay, so when we have too much steel, we're going to have it set up such that boom, 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 when we get too much steel. I mean, like, if we're talking about, like, geopolitics or whatever, like, there was never really going to be much of a difference between, like, fucking, because with Trump, he doesn't believe in anything, right? Like, he'll just say and do whatever to, like, satisfy an audience. Right? There's no ideological predilections with someone like Trump. He'll just do, like, whatever gets the crowd excited. So, it doesn't matter for him. He'll just do whatever plays well. And whatever can, like, sort of, like, satiate his autistic fixation. Do we want to talk about some of the elections that happened? I guess there's the Romanian election, right? I guess I could just mention this quickly. Yeah. It's a Nico Sordan. He won. Against the what is the other guy's name? Giorgio Simon. And all I can say is that Giorgio literally fucking lost. Despite the fact that he said, "I will be the president of Chad," choosing the wrong fucking flag because the flag of Chad and the flag of Romania have the exact same colors. It's really, really funny. So, let's take a quick look, I guess. Yeah, it was really funny. Yeah, Nico Sur is, he's pro-West, basically pro-EU, pro-NATO, shit like that. And he ended up winning in comparison to George Simon. So, yeah, that's pretty much about it. So, like, obviously, as we remember, literally, there was Kalin Georgescu, who got fucking yeeted because he was taking a bunch of Russian money. So the Supreme Court was just like, yeah, this election is annulled because this dumbass is taking Russian money. And guess what, Romanians, we don't like them. We don't like the Russians. Yeah, I wonder why we don't like the Russians. Yeah, I'd probably say that Nico Sor is just a lib. He's just a lib. Pro EU, pro NATO. That's really about it. So, yeah, there's like nothing really interesting to say about this guy. I'll be honest. So, he's just a lib. He's just a guy. No, 64% of 64%. I think I did get my passport renewed. I probably could have also voted in this election, but I never got a ballot or anything, so fuck it, whatever. So that's cool. But yeah, the Liberal ended up winning, so that's fantastic and great. What other elections happened? There was the elections in Romania. I think there was also Polish elections. Polish elections, I think, also happened. Donald Tusk, right-wing populists. So basically, the fascists are performing better. So it's the same shit as before in Romania. So that's cool. Yeah, well, you know, I don't really know like about like Donald Tusk. Has he even really been like doing anything? I mean, he's very supportive, for example, of the Ukrainians. I think that's really about it. I'm assuming that this guy is the far right guy, Rafal. Tusk's Civic Coalition received 31.36% of the votes, narrowly tailing behind was Karol Naraki, backed by the populist right-wing Law and Justice. Oh, it's the fucking piss party. Fucking pissers. It's the pissers. We got piss. So I guess this is what we got, right? In terms of the distributions. In the eastern parts of the country, it's more far right. Western parts of the countries, it's more left. Or liberal, I suppose. That's fun. So, I guess there's what? The piss party is tailing a little bit behind. They've done better. I don't know about like these other two guys. What parties are these guys a part of? Are they a part of the left or something? Trzaskowski has been long seen as the frontrunner whose election would allow Poland to end the months-long standoff between the centrist-led parliament and populist right presidency. Okay, cool. Wait, Tusk and his coalition took power in 2023? Great. Fantastic. Yeah, because PIS used to be in fucking parliament for the past 8 years. That's cool. Andrzej Duda, close ally of the previous PIS government and supporter of Donald Trump. Duda uses presidential veto to repeatedly block new administrational reforms. Of course. Because as always with fascists, gotta get in the way of all that stuff. Very, very funny, very cool, very good, hilarious. And complaining about woke liberal values, fantastic. There's a glimpse of what possibly lies ahead of the country. So what? Narrow lead for the centrist coalition. I'm assuming that probably whatever left exists within Poland, if the far right is seen as getting too potentially close to the vestiges of power, more than likely they're going to get the centrist Voltron to make sure that the fucking right doesn't get in. That's broadly what I'm seeing is more than likely it's not going to happen, because I mean that's the same thing that happened with in France, but you know Macron, that fucking duplicitous little fucking conniving bitch, fucked over the left. So well whoa, liberals fucking over the left? Say it ain't so. But okay, so that's Poland. That's the first round. Cool, fantastic. And I think there was also elections in Hungary. I think. No. Was it just Poland and I think it was just the Poles and the Romanians, right? Nothing about Hungary, I think. But yeah, what? So centrists just are barely in the lead. We'll see if they assemble the fucking Voltron or not to make sure the far right doesn't get into power. And then the inevitable betrayal by the centrists. Well, who would have thought? And what? Nico Sora over here just fucking won the presidential election. Because initially they were behind and were like pretty uninteresting, but then he made a comeback. I'm assuming more than likely a bunch of other people decided to coalesce around him, right? If I were to make a bet. But let the fucking comeback. I'm curious with Nico Sora. Yes, a sigh of relief for the Ukrainians in Moldova, of course. Simon also retired Romanian political establishment round 2 rounds. Because keep in mind, here's the thing with Romanian politics you need to know immediately. Everyone is corrupt. It doesn't matter. Like, it's so... people are so fucking nihilistic in general about Romanian politics. They're all, like, fucking corrupt shitheads. So, even though this guy's, like, a liberal, he's like, pro-EU, there's gonna be, like, some corruption scandal guaranteed. But we'll see. What was like the comeback, sort of? Yeah, fake news campaign spotted again. Last hours of voting, Romania's Foreign Interior Defense Ministries announced what they called Russian interference, warning voters about a fake news campaign rolled out on Telegram, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Whoa, the Russians are doing fake news? Who would have thought? This was expected, he added. Because I know, like, one of the Russian goals right now is to, like, basically try to get as many far-right people in power in Eastern Europe to help sort of, like, reestablish the Warsaw Pact, basically, which Romania was a part of, which is why he wanted Simon probably to win. Because I was talking with some, I went to a restaurant run by a Romanian guy, and he was, like, saying, like, yeah, if Giorgio Simon, if he fucking wins, you know what's gonna fucking happen? More than likely, he's gonna abdicate his position, and he's gonna abdicate his position or resign his position and give power to Giorgio Simon, making it such that the far right guy wins anyways, right? Because that's like, and I was like saying like, oh, that's the exact same thing that Donald Trump was also thinking of doing in the U.S. You know, have whoever his vice president is or whoever's like the Republican president that wins after, he's forced to leave, they resign and give the position to him, kind of a thing, right? Success of the far right across Europe is scary as fuck. That's true, yeah, they've been gaining a lot of power. What reform, the AFD, for example. I mean, so long as, like, the centrists decide to form the Voltron to stop the far right, so far they're going to be kept back for the time being. Because that's what happened in Germany. They formed the Voltron and were just like, no. Same in France. They formed the Voltron and were like, no. Fuck you. So, at least for the time being, it is still a bad thing that they're as successful as they are. But it's because, like, I mean, just ineffectiveness of neoliberal governance and politics. Like, that shit's fucking dying. Like, we all know why this is broadly speaking happening, right? Like, neoliberalism is dying and shit like that. That's the more like important sort of, I guess, commentary to focus on here. But at least for the time being, these are like fine outcomes for the Romanians. I don't know about the polls as much. I mean, it was just the first round, so anything could really happen in Poland for the time being. But for at least from Romania, this is probably about as good as you're gonna get. Like another uninteresting like neoliberal candidate who might have a corruption scandal, probably will have a corruption scandal because it's fucking Romania and all of them have corruption scandals. But at least for the time being, so like the fascism is being staved off for now. So I think that's probably the more important thing to sort of like think about. So for now, neoliberalism and liberal institutions are holding, but the question becomes like, how much longer is this sort of like status quo gonna hold? And it's just like, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be for very long. So yeah, for now, feels okay, man. For now. Oh yeah, the AfD should be banned in Germany, absolutely. I have no idea why they're not. Don't know why they are not banned yet. They should be banned, though. I don't know. Maybe because Germans are racist or something. Or maybe because I'm racist to Germans. That's also a possibility. I'm very well known for being racist to other white people. This is real and true, by the way. Boy Meets Minnie can attest to this. He knows of my racist theories. Really? That's so fucking funny. It's literally the same thing that happened with fucking Hitler's trial. Like, no fucking cap. That's the same fucking shit that happened with him. That's so fucking funny. That, like, literally... God, fucking history, dude. History has just such a fucking hilarious way of, like, you know, of rhyming, but never repeating itself, but rhyming all the fucking time. Yeah, like, quite literally, like... what made it such that Hitler never went into the fucking slammer for any longer than he should have? Partial judges. Judges who were partial to his position. Conservatives. Right? We know. That was like one of the things that curbed his sentence significantly. It was judges who were more partial to Hitler's sort of conservative beliefs. Now they ended up, I guess, fucking regretting it, I suppose, in the end. But hey, you know, it happened.
Folks, we love doing historical parallels, folks. Don't we? I love historical parallel. You love historical parallel. We all like historical parallel. Don't we, folks? Very important to talk about the parallels.
Ooh, I just thought of another topic to talk about. Trump telling Walmart to eat the tariffs is so funny. Because this shit's, it's so fucking funny, dude. And then we'll get to the Zohran stuff. Actually, do I even want to get to the Zohran stuff? I don't even know. Like, this shit's so dumb. I can't believe that Zohran Mamdani didn't back measures condemning the Holocaust. Okay, man. Sure, bro. Because I expect, like, this shit's probably really fucking dumb. Zohran Mamdani's crime guys saying that Palestinians should not be turned into mulch. I know that's edgy and controversial, but, you know, it's true. gonna go to the bathroom real quick, though. Turn on the damn music. The damn music doesn't play. Even though it's not paused or anything. I'm a debate. I've been fooled. Curses. Curses. I've been foiled yet again. I can't believe that this would happen to me. Alexa, play Despacito. Despacito. If I want to make fucking biolabs, we need to make fucking labs. Which means we need to make fucking goddamn belts. Just... That's what I have to say. Capture rockets. That's like an ugly, dumb fuck recipe, isn't it? You have to get bioflux, I think, for that. Which means we need legendary bioflux. I suppose what I could do is just try to make that on Nauvis. Und where is what I'm looking for? Tell me. Where is it? Am I brain dead? Yes, I am. Yeah, it needs bioflux. There's everything else we can make / have legendary, but you need legendary bioflux. However, if there is a way to craft capture bot rockets, that is a way to upcycle them into getting legendary bioflux, right? Because we can assume return on investment is about 5 bioflux. So instead of having to do this the dummy way, we could make we can quality upcycle instead. Quality upcycle, capture bot rockets. I think there's a Melbourne Without Coffee video build on this. I'm probably just gonna take that because that dude's builds are very good. Don't know if I would necessarily want to trash all the rest of that stuff, though. Some pretty good intermediates in the creation of those capture rockets. Steel processing units and flying robot frames. Those are pretty good. Those are pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, excuse me. Legendary ammo does give me increased damage. Uranium rounds magazine. I'm curious, how much damage does that do with quality? Uranium rounds factorial. What's the damage on these things? 60 damage, so an increase of 2.5 times. So what? I assume the same probably applies to the damage, also the 43.2. So multiply that by 2.5. So that would be 60 plus 100 and 108. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. 60 plus 108? 168 damage? Even these become pretty decent, I would say, right? plus times 2.5, so 12.5 plus 22.5, so 35 damage. Pretty good, I'd say. That's not bad. It's impressive. Those are big numbers. Big numbers, big numbers, big numbers.
We love big numbers, don't we, folks?
All right. Let me get started on this shit.
Billions and billions of damage, folks. What can I say, folks? We're doing a lot of damage. We're doing tons of damage, folks. Or as Freak from League of Legends would say, puns of damage. I love that guy. I remember, I'm gonna do a member berry real quick. I remember the days of Freak doing all the champion rundowns. I love that shit. When I was a child.
Okay.
Who remembers? Do you remember? Do you remember?
Fucking singing that song at the Trump voice is probably so stupid. The dumbest sounding shit ever, dude. Alright, a new nuclear fuel processing area is now prepared. We also have to establish Covarex here to make sure that everything is
All proceeding according to Keikaku. Very important, folks.
I also have to think about replacing all the bots and everything on Novus as well with legendary bots and all that shit. That's gonna be a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna do it for the starter base. I don't care about the starter base.
You can stay with your normal bots. You don't need them. You don't need them, folks. What can I tell you?
Anywho. Well. Whoa, hey, weirdo Trump supporters that love to defend his fucking tariffs all the time. The thing that happened, and the companies are not willing to eat the tariffs, because why would they want to eat the tariffs when they've been given zero incentivization to eat the tariffs? I find it really hilarious that all these motherfuckers are talking about, like, yeah, the tariffs are going to be so great and beneficial, when, like, under every circumstance, the corporations never wanted to eat the tariffs at any point in time. But, like, Trump supporters were, like, operating under the fucking, like, complete, utter delusions that for whatever reason they were going to try to, like, have the companies be the ones that eat the tariffs. You know, silly, ridiculous nonsense aside, what do we have here? By trying to bully Walmart, Trump gives away the game on his tariffs agenda. If Trump were right about foreign countries paying tariffs, yeah, because he thought China was going to be the main guys who pay the tariffs. That's not how that works. It's a tax on your imports, so you do not. China's not the one who pays those tariffs. That's not how that works. Why is he demanding that Walmart simply eat the tariffs? Because he's wrong about the basics. Last week, Walmart became the latest high-profile national retailer to announce that Trump's trade tariffs were poised to push consumer prices higher. In fact, the price hikes are poised to reach the public very soon. David Rainey, the behemoth's chief financial officer, told CNBC on Thursday that Walmart would likely start rolling out tariff-related price hikes towards the tail end of this month, and I certainly expect more in June. As the Washington Post reported, the president did not take the news well. President Trump, over the weekend, admonished Walmart for warning that his tariffs could force a price increase, urging the world's biggest retail simply absorb the consequences of his trade war. The president responded Saturday. Again, I've said this before, so there's a reason why he's saying this. He's saying this because he knows the politics of the situation would make him look really, really, really bad. So that's why he's saying, like, Walmart, I needed to eat the tariffs. You are the guys who have to pay the tariffs. You know that, right? Walmart, you gotta pay it. Even though, like I said before, there is no incentive structure currently in place for any form of industrial policy or anything that makes it just that the companies want to eat the fucking tariffs. Which is why, this was never going to fucking work to begin with. So, that's cool. The president responded Saturday, posting on his social media platform, Truth Social, that Walmart should eat the tariffs and not charge any valued customers anything. Why would they? You're cutting into their profits. They're already from what I understand, like, a lot of, like, Walmart locations already do not operate on the best of profit margins. Telling them to be the ones to eat the tariffs is not good. I guess this also sort of plays into the consequences overall of, letting the rest of middle America sort of die out for all these, like, fucking multinational fucking conglomerates being able to take over the sort of, like, mom and pop fucking shops and stuff like that. Like, we're seeing these consequences be laid out just completely threadbare firsthand. Do Trump supporters care about any of that shit? No, they don't. In the same online missive, the Republican added, "I'll be watching," though he didn't elaborate as to what he intends to do if he sees Walmart take steps he disapproves of. This is the same shit he tried to do with the fucking goddamn drug price cap. He's trying to, like, make other countries pay more for drugs because he thinks, like, Americans are getting screwed over by the fact they're paying a lot in drugs. Now, he's correct when he has that assertion. He's not wrong when he says that. The problem is like, every country has a certain policy when it comes to negotiating for fucking goddamn drug prices. It's not like a one-for-one, one-for-all sort of fit for everything. It varies on the policy of the fucking country. So, him complaining about this shit is in the way that he is saying, like, why does the U.S. have to be the main one who bears everything in terms of paying for all the fucking amount that we have to pay on drugs? It's like, Trump, the problem with, like, the fact that the Americans pay so much on drugs is because of the fact that pharmaceutical companies are not regulated very well. It's the free market that's causing the problem, not other countries. So you saying that it's the fault of other countries is just very stupid. But again, he's really stupid. We are not operating with a dude who has a full deck of cards, so to say. But yeah, what else do we got here? I can approve why this might seem like an overwrought observation, but I happen to think this one oddly worded statement might be the most interesting thing Trump has said this year about trade policy. When it comes to the president's approach to the issue, he has repeatedly pushed a simple claim: foreign countries pay the tariffs, which they don't, so it's stupid. That's never made any sense. And everyone who's taken an Economics 101 course, honestly, you don't even have to take Economics 101 to know that it's just fucking stupid, but whatever, has tried to explain how absurd this belief is. But Trump, whose capacity for confusion about the basics of trade policy is endless, has nevertheless clung to the assertion. Because again, the reason why he thinks that the countries have to be the ones who pay the fucking goddamn tariffs, the import taxes, and it's not companies paying the fucking import taxes, is because We can even go more basic. I'll help the fucking report here. It's because he thinks that trade deficits mean that the U.S. gave a bunch of money to countries. No, that's not how that works. Countries, like companies, import products and goods for on the cheap from other countries because guess what? Their manufacturing base gets paid less in the third world, in the global south. So that's why, generally speaking, people tend to fucking pay for pretty cheap fucking goddamn products from around the world. Who would have thought that was the fucking case? But Trump doesn't fucking get that because he's an idiot. Now, has nevertheless clung to the assertion. Telling the public tariffs on China, for example, led Beijing to put money in American coffers, which is dumb. That's not how that works. Stupid. In fact, it's raised prices on people. Put strains on businesses. That's literally what's happened. That's long been absurd, but the Republican has long been impervious to the policy details. Trump's latest online statement, however, gives away the game. He apparently now realizes, at least on some level, that his tariffs are responsible for pushing Walmart's costs higher, and the retailer now intends to push its prices higher as a result. Because, they've never been given a fucking goddamn incentive for, guess what? Crazy. In order to fucking make sure that their prices don't get affected by the fucking tariffs. So, as a result, they charged more instead because, since we're the ones who have to eat the fucking tariffs, guess who has to pay for it? It's the American people. Great. Very good. The president wants Walmart to simply eat the tariffs, meaning Trump wants the company to profit less in order to accommodate the tariff-related costs. Time will tell whether Walmart follows through the White House's lead. Now, obviously, if he fucking forces the goddamn corporation to do this, then cool, great, based, fantastic. But I have a feeling that, no, that's not gonna fucking happen. Because again, what incentives does Walmart have to fucking do that? None. That's like the whole fucking problem with this stupid shit that Trump has been saying. Walmart has not been given any particular reasoning to be the ones who have to eat the fucking tariffs. So why the fuck is he telling them to be the ones to eat the fucking tariffs when they've been given no reason to want to eat the fucking tariffs? It's fucking stupid. But either way, the truth is laid bare. If foreign countries were paying the tariffs, Walmart wouldn't be feeling the cost pressure, and the company wouldn't feel the need to raise prices. There would not be additional costs for Walmarts to eat, to borrow Trump's phrasing. If this sounds at all familiar, there's a good reason for it. As my MSNBC colleague, Clarissa Jam-Lin, recently noted, Amazon considered a plan in which the online retail would show consumers additional costs generated by the president's policies of tariffs, of which Bezos fucking backed off of, like a fucking coward. The White House immediately freaked out. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt accused Amazon of carrying out a hostile and political act, which is fucking stupid. Why would they do that? They have no reason to fucking do that. They're pointing out, guys, here's why your prices are going up. It's because these fucking stupid ass tariffs. Because the president's an idiot and he doesn't know how economic policy works. Crazy. But again, no. And the whole endeavor quickly collapsed. There we go. But again, the dust-up itself served as a reminder to Trump that it's American businesses and American consumers that feel the pinch from his tariffs. It was against this backdrop that Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, speaking finally about something after his talk with the Baileys, spoke on the Senate floor in late April, calling on companies to do what Amazon prepared to do. I'll be honest, he was based and correct for saying this. I'll be quite honest. Literally just do this. Make it, lay the thread bare. Be like, hey, America, this is what, Donald Trump is forcing you to have to go through for his, stupid fucking tariffs. This. You sure you guys want to fucking deal with that bullshit? That fucking meme from the Majority Report is very, very funny. To the large businesses that sell to consumers, I say, show your customers how much tariffs are hurting in their pocketbooks, the New York Democrat said. People deserve to know the impact tariffs have on their finances. And it's also small businesses. They don't want to get blamed for hiking prices when Donald Trump's tariffs have put them in a terrible position. In a position that says raise your prices or close your doors. They hate doing either. That's a terrible fucking Chuck Schumer impression, but you know, I tried. A week later, congressional Democrats introduced legislation to codify this idea into law, unveiling a bill that would require retailers to display their costs that would reflect Trump-imposed increases. Not a bad idea, obviously, but that's never going to get signed into law. Funny though. Although the legislation will never be seriously considered in a Republican-led Congress, the effort itself should be a part of an educational campaign for the president, which seems to be working, slowly but surely. This is nuts. These billionaire idiots seem too scared to tell him to end the freaking tariffs. Well, yeah, it's all the fucking corporate, like, capturing consolidation that's going on, Alex, obviously. Like, they're cowardly. They don't want to have, like, lose fucking opportunities, right? You know, Bezos doesn't want to fucking lose any opportunities at all to benefit materially from this, which is why he's, like, doing the stupid shit that he's doing, coddling fucking Trump's bullshit. But now he's, like, probably realizing, like, uh-oh, this guy's a complete fucking dumbass. Shit. What do I do? His brain is fucking cooked. What do I do? Shit, fuck. And, well, fuck around and find out, I suppose, for Jeff Bezos there. But, you know, it's always been, like, fucking ridiculous and silly. Like, again, conservatives, I have to ask you this question every single time. Why the fuck did any of you think that the main people that were going to be the ones who eat the tariffs were the corporations? It was always going to be the consumer, because guess who has more power in this fucking relationship? It's the corporations. Why on earth would, like I said before, unless incentive structures have been given, and I keep pointing to the CHIPS Act in particular as to the main act that has done a good job with this, the CHIPS Acts made it such that they were given tax credits, corporations, of course, given tax credits in order to be able to incentivize building within the United States. Crazy. And as a result, crazy, they started to want to build more in the United States as a result. Shocker, I know. But it turns out, like, corporations are not these altruistic people that you think that they are. They never have been, and they never will be. So, I don't know, stop operating under the delusion that they seemingly are. And then, you know, maybe, like, maybe life will improve somewhat. Because that's really what the actual problem is with all of this. For some reason, all these, like, dumbass motherfuckers seemingly thought that, hey, well, you know, if we just give the corporation, if we just give them everything they want, they're going to be, like, you know, they're going to love us and they're going to lower their prices naturally. Oh, wait, why aren't they doing it? What the heck is going on? Because, of course, they were never going to fucking do that, obviously. It was silly. It was silly to make that fucking assumption. But, you know, are what fucking business leaders gonna fucking push to end the tariffs or do something about it? No, because they're fucking cowards and they only care about their fucking bottom lines. Ultimately speaking, they're totally fine with, like, stiffing the American fucking worker because, like, crazy. Who would have thought that, hey, corporations are not your allies and not your friends, and the only thing that they care about is their profit margins. The only reason why they supported Trump and his fucking tomfoolery to begin with is because they felt like, well, I mean, we're more than likely going to get something out of this if we support the Trump administration or support Republicans, because they're the ones who support, well, the capital class to begin with. Who would have fucking thought? Yeah, it's so stupid. Turns out factory machinery is made in China, and starting a factory in the U.S. with tariffs is expensive as fuck. Yup, which is why this has always been seen as incredibly stupid and fucking ass backwards. It's always just been really dumb and silly. But again, conservatives don't understand the basics of economics, so they don't get any of this stuff. Which is why it's just like, dude, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? This was always going to happen. You guys are incredibly silly for thinking otherwise. But, you know, never tell a conservative that their tomfoolery and dipshittery was just really fucking dumb to begin with, because they'll just have a fucking fit about it. I don't know. Not really much else to say about this. It's just funny that this is, that Trump is, I guess, seemingly beginning to understand, like, oh, fuck. Wait a minute. Corporations were never my friend. Fuck. Ugh. Well, I think I ate too much for dinner today. Well, these motherfuckers are starting to bank a lot of fucking goddamn iron ore because we're not doing anything with all the iron ore that we have now. Don't want to cover the Zohran shit. I'm so fucking tired, dude. My brain is so fucking cooked at the moment. I'm really tired. I think I might just call it here for today. Ugh. Because I'm fucking slipping, dude. I'm like... brain cooked. No. That's why I couldn't hear the music because my fucking goddamn headset was off. Son of a bitch. I feel very stupid for not realizing that, but my brain is like... brain cooked. Brain cooked. Oy, oy, oy. Dude, there's people arguing in my, like, one of my TikToks about, like, when I was doing the, like, meme with, like, Ethan's dumbass sword gotcha, I made it, like, a 4-part little mini-series because I thought it would be funny. There's, like, someone in that fucking comment section who seemingly just does not have the understanding of, like, because the dude's adopting the position of, like, actually, I think it's understandable, Ethan's position about, you know, how, the N-word and the swastika have the exact same connotations, and it's just like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? No, it doesn't. That's really fucking dumb of you to say. Because they don't have the exact same fucking connotation whatsoever. Do you see Jews walking around with fucking swastikas? Because the argument is about reclamation. Do Jews walk around with fucking swastikas, like, waving them around proudly as a fucking symbol of, like, I don't know, camaraderie or compatriocy? No? Oh. Okay, so therefore, like, this comparison is really dumb. Whereas black people call each other the N-word because guess what? It's a term that's been reclaimed. That's what reclamation means in this context. Stupid. Yeah, you know, you've reclaimed the swastika. Good job, Alex. It's really fucking dumb, dude. Oh, man, dude. So stupid. Yeah, we're gonna do the Zohran stuff, I think, tomorrow, because my brain is just... ugh. Probably do a Yap session as well. Oh, yeah, you're 1000% correct there, Alex. Yeah, they bastardized the swastika, right? It's a symbol of peace. Right? Like, it's a religious symbol initially. The cultural symbol and stuff like that. I guess another thing, another reason, besides me feeling tired as fuck, I'm also just feeling kind of sick. Like, oh, I definitely ate way too much for dinner. That pork chop was pretty good, though. But I definitely ate way too much. So I'm just like, Ugh. Is that dumbass also fucking still trying to argue with me on Blue Sky? Dude, I have some fucking Smash JT supporter arguing with me about fucking Alyssa Mercante. Boy Meets Mini, you want a fun one for you, buddy? Here. Jesus Christ, this guy just doesn't understand it. Doesn't understand the point of the fucking fact that Smash JT made 50 plus videos of mostly like frivolous fucking statements on Alyssa Mercante with the express purpose of trying to harass her off the internet. That's quite literally my point, but he doesn't get it. It does have less chuds, but there's always gonna be a couple. There's always a couple. I mean, this dude's a fucking complete dumbass. I mean, this guy seems to be like, I don't know, like pro-union or some shit. I don't know. This guy's a weirdo. I've looked at his profile. Dude only has like 3 posts, basically, that I can see. Okay, I guess I have to fucking get the Alyssa Mercante fucking goddamn stupid shit because this dude's a fucking schizo. Who still doesn't fucking get it. This is probably going to be my last response to this fucking moron, because after this, if he still doesn't get it, then there's no point in further engagement with this fucking moron. Just complete move on. Because this guy's a fucking idiot. Yeah, this guy's a like, if that dude doesn't like, if you want to take a look through all the arguments that I'm fucking having on that fucking thread, there you go. That's the last time I'm fucking replying to that moron. I am not fucking going to look at anything that motherfucker has to say. I'm just gonna be like, you're fucking... If he still is trying to have a fucking argument about this, I'm just gonna be like, you're an idiot. Move on with your life. You are just a stupid moron. Get a life. And think about your fucking decisions in life. I am no longer interested in entertaining your prattle. Let's raid out 2 maple takes. Because we love Canadians, don't we, folks? Alright, idiots, raid messages. Transtrad with a Daho raid buff. If you're a sub, if you're a non-sub, you do the WoW Eats. How we show appreciation to those who are into Keys Gamers. I will be back tomorrow, and we will be continuing to yap and Factorio Gotcha, I guess. Probably turn on them all and start making legendary machines.
Thank you, kind stranger.
Anywho, I will be back tomorrow, and we will be doing that shit. Any case, I hope to be one. That's true. Turns you into a legendary gear to shove you into an assembling machine. Anywho, I'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, same face. Peace out, gamers.